Come on, loosen it up.
Wait, you're not supposed to.
Yes, loosen it up. Go. Nobody's breathed yet.
Oh, he's grabbing the table. Hey guys, and welcome back to This Life We Live, where we are building our dream house, a modern style barndominium from scratch. It's gonna be awesome. Just wait till we get to the insides. Speaking of the insides, last week the building crew went through and they put up most of the walls of the inside of our house. Now this is an angular, single sloped house, so these walls are a little bit more involved to do than your traditional stick frame build. But today, Eric and I are going to be getting our feet wet on taking on the task of building some angular walls. We're going to be doing the walls up in the loft. Can we get it done? Let's go find out. Alright guys, if you enjoyed the editing on this video, give this video a thumbs up and show my editor a little bit of love and tell him thank you for all of his hard work, because we would not have this channel if it were not for him, because goodness knows I would be way too busy to shoot all this footage and edit it down to get it to you guys every week. So if you're thankful for it, just put a little thumbs up and show him some love. Let's go. Alright, so now we are going to be finally closing in the safe room. So in order for the safe room to become safe, we gotta put cement over the top. That also turns it into a porch as well. So the cement truck has just showed up. They've been busy framing it in. So we are ready for some cement.
You're going for the biggest pour of your life?
Alright, so this is Eric's first viewing of the progress for today. We have that window got replaced because they had the wrong swapped out because they had the wrong one in. This door.
Have handles yet for the, oh no, we do have handles.
Do we?
Oh, maybe we didn't for this one.
I don't remember, honestly. They all liked the door. They thought it was a really nice looking door. So in case you can't tell on camera, this is a paneled door. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels. That's a black wood texture. I'm gonna come over here and look at the cement. You better touch it first to make sure it's...
I'm not going on it.
Oh, they said you can walk on it. Oh yeah.
So you did a brush?
Yeah, yep, he did. I was probably disappointed because it's not as nice as the other kind, but I'm like, you know what though, if you get water and rain and snow up there, it's gonna be slippery as heck if you don't have a brush finish.
I mean, he cut it smooth, right? If you wanted him to.
No, I mean it was smooth, but then he went through the brush. So I mean this is a safer way to go, really.
Yeah.
I mean you just power wash it.
Sloped a little bit away from the house.
But I did get the date.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I don't know how well I did it. Sets up really fast, and they were working it for a while, so. So then the question was, do the doors turn in or do the doors turn out?
Is there all spring doors?
I know we had that discussion. So it's got to flip around the other way.
Going the other way. This part. I gotta lay this door down.
Where down the street is Eric has to do a redo.
So I went to the wrong side of the line. Good deal.
Yeah, these spam people are blowing my phone up today.
You too?
Yeah, all
It
day.
don't matter. I already showed Eamon the 2 spots upstairs where they went to the wrong side of the line.
Show me the other one.
This story just keeps growing. It's like, ooh, it's gonna be a family reunion in the hospital.
I'm not going this time.
Did you go last time?
Yeah, I went last time.
Oh. It's okay. I
You want my blade?
don't think this will be the last one that we have to.
Yeah.
All right, so we have our first house item. What do we have?
Bathtub.
We're putting in a bathtub. So we had the discussion as to should we put a standing shower in or a bathtub shower combo. Eric really wanted a standing shower, but thinking ahead, our son does like to take baths on occasion, and we really are trying to shove him out of our bathroom. And the other thing is, down the road, grandkids, you know, you got to give them a bath too. So bathtub it is.
But we can still, I think we're still planning on tiling around it.
Yeah, we're still gonna go some tile, and we'll show you guys kind of what we're envisioning once we get it in the space. Well, let's go. Alright, so we are doing our first project on the house after the builders are pretty much done with framing. So we are going to actually be bumping one of our big tall walls, which isn't the best case scenario, but it is what it is.
Yeah, better do it now than later. Because we have plumbers coming, they need to get, the walls need to get put where they need to get put.
So one of the issues we found out is that the walls were framed 1 inch bigger than they were supposed to be, which was not the builder's fault, but it was on the architectural prints that way.
It depends on what style of tub and shower. If you were to put a surround in, you want it 1 inch bigger.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just one of those weird things. So we would have had to modify the walls anyway, but the issue is that we thought we had measured this, but the distance for the doorway into here wasn't big enough for a vanity. We are going to be moving this whole thing over a couple inches, which will then allow this vanity to push in another couple inches. And then Eric's plan is to frame this part of the bathroom out a little bit more with some extra wood. So instead of having like a 1/2 of an inch to work with, we'll have a couple inches. Detaching from the main support walls back here and up there. So we've got 3 nails up here to take out, and then any supporting nails between these 2 boards right here, which is what Eric's doing over there. so Eric went through and he got the wall over here detached. So this whole thing, top to bottom, is detached. So now he's working on the one over here. Bloop. He's got a letter on both sides this time, so. Yeah, I don't know if that's the best. Definitely don't want anything falling on this side because of the bathtub over here. That would suck. Because we had to like go on a mission to find this bathtub because it's a left drain. And there's only one in stock. That one's not moving at all. That's got to be stuck somewhere on something. All right, so we got both sides detached. He already went through and hammered this side over. He hammered it over so it's touching the truss now. So right now, this is shooting a line all the way up to the top. Check that out. Yeah, it goes all the way up to the very top. So the cool, see, he said this is really nice for the angled walls because it shoots the line directly up, but then it shows you where to put it on level for the rest of the wall. Yeah, look at that. Look at it. This whole wall. This is like perfect for angled walls. Alright, so we got this nailed in. So Eric was looking at it and he would have had to put a drywall nailer behind here anyway. So by bumping this in a little bit tighter so that it lined all the way up with the truss, we moved the top plate over. So now the top plate's on the opposite end of this wall, and everything ties in a little bit tighter for framing. But that also means that we're going to have to put an extra little bump out right here for the shower. But the bigger issue was the vanity, which is supposedly a standard size vanity, can now fit into the doorway. And this is a 34-inch door, and now we don't have to go smaller on the doorway.
Yeah, and the actual door will frame in, you know, a little bit farther.
Yeah.
Other option, we could have moved this whole framework to the right, but
I mean, we could have cut this down.
It would have been a lot of work.
Well, I mean, this was a lot of work. It took us all morning just to get that done. So, I mean, it's always going to be work.
Let's put the tub in and see how much shims we got to put in there.
Alright, so now that we got the wall moved, we have the problem of our bathtub now having a huge gap between the wall and the bathtub. So, the next project is how to frame in your bathtub with too large of a gap, or how to frame in a bathtub that is smaller than the room size. So what Eric has engineered together here, I want to make sure that doesn't land on my head.
We're gonna sister these studs with 2x6. We need to come out anyways for a nailing flange and that, so it worked out pretty good. And these are 14-degree angle cuts. So we got to get it, leave a little bit of a gap for the tub, and then we got to put a level on the wall, and we're just going to screw it in case the plumber needs to move anything. So I think they only want like an 1/8 inch gap.
Yeah, just enough to be able to wiggle it in and out.
Because the tub will get like screwed in right there. This will be like a little tiled wall. And then once I get all these attached, I'll have to put a top plate drywall nailer on there.
right, so Eric pointed out that we can get our Sigma laser over here, and we did drop a chalk line, but he pointed out that it'd probably be easier. Look at that. Way easier than chalk line. So pretty much what we have is we're trying to figure out exactly where we want our shower and bath unit to be. So this is, we're going to do what's known as a wet bath, but it's basically where you have the shower and the bathtub all in one unit, and it's not like this where the shower's in the bathtub. You have a separate shower and you have a separate bathtub, but it's all encased in one area. Because it's kind of more like a spa effect, and you can get really creative and really fun with these things. It's kind of skeptical about it, but it's honestly kind of the more on trend point with bathrooms is everything combined.
I almost kind of don't necessarily want a freestanding tub. It'd almost be nicer to build up framework around it.
So kind of like encompass, so you've got like the bench seat, and then it kind of swings around with the tub.
Make it like, then you can really like kind of.
All right, we're going to pause just a moment to introduce you to a super top secret part of this build. Now, the bathroom idea got out of hand really fast, and what we ended up coming up with was absolutely mind-blowing compared to these pictures you just saw. I'm not going to give you a whole lot of details, but here's a couple teaser photos. It's not exactly what we're planning, but it kind of gets you a little bit in the ballpark. It is going to be absolutely spectacular. The inside of this house is going to be like nothing you've seen on YouTube yet. So definitely stay tuned. Definitely be watching the videos because we're going to have more sneak peeks coming up. But this bathroom is going to be pretty epic. All right. I have got to show you this. It is just absolutely blowing my mind. I have never been able to get anything good growing with a garden here in Michigan. This is the exception. So this is the Vago garden system. I actually have two of these. I've got one right there and I've got one right here. And I believe these are 3 foot. I probably would like to expand up to the 8 foot. But look at this. You can't even tell what's in there. It is so jam-packed because I was determined to get as much produced as I possibly could. And then so this behemoth right here is a cherry tomato plant, just one. And as you can see, it is producing a healthy load of cherry tomatoes. So then over here, this one has taken off in the last 3 days. This was my blueberries and strawberries. And then I had planted like, I think 4 or 5 green bean plants in here. Do I like the Vago garden beds? I absolutely love them, and I will get more of these. I will pay out of my own pocket to get more. I love them that much. This has been the only garden system that has ever worked for me in my life. So let me just show you what I harvested today. Now this isn't much, okay? This isn't much, guys. I am not much of a gardener, but we've got some green beans that just started producing. We've got 1 tomato off our heirloom, and then of course the cherry tomatoes. So I am absolutely thrilled with the Vago garden beds. Having that extra tall raised bed system has been a lifesaver. And the Vago garden hose reel over there is just fantastic. It is a lot of money for a hose, I'm not gonna lie. But if you want something that's gonna stay nice looking, that is the way to go.
That looks great. You lined up perfect.
I did my best. It kept trying to jump on me when I screwed it in, but I'm glad you like my screwing job. All right. I'm going to guess maybe it's going to be just a little bit too short. Yeah, just shy. Almost there.
It's a little long.
A little long? You mean a little wide?
Yeah, like for some reason.
This is a really weird 2x4 too. This one is like pretty crusty looking. It's so weird. The basement feels like a whole nother creature. It feels like a whole nother world down there. Because I just don't go down there.
Creepy down there.
Creepy? You said that upstairs is creepy.
Yeah, Yeah, the downstairs is even creepier. It's like a dungeon. Especially when we paint the ceiling black.
Oh, Aaron's gonna love that.
Why?
It's gonna be his new ninja stick.
Veneer?
Oh yeah, he loves whipping those things and breaking them into 100 pieces everywhere out here. So Eric went through and he ripped this down a little bit skinnier to compensate for the bowing of the cement. So now it's gonna have sheeting coming from here down to there, and then flooring right here, and then sheeting down again. Alright guys, welcome back. We are working on the loft walls in the house. However, Eric made note of a very interesting assessment of our walls, which is a unique problem that you run into with these monopitch houses. But Eric's going to tell you exactly what that issue is, so if you guys ever have to build a wall on a slope ceiling like this is something you're going to want to pay attention to.
Alright, so the only walls this is really going to affect is the walls that are interior walls running the opposite direction of your trusses. This represents our pitch. It's a 312 pitch.
Okay.
So this is going to be our stud. This will be our top plate, a normal top plate. So
the top of your wall is called a top plate.
So if you line this up like this, which is fine until you go to install drywall. So let's pretend this is your drywall. You run this up. You cannot run it all the way to the ceiling. Now, the easy way to fix that, you take your top plate and you put a 14-degree angle on it, the same as your stud wall layout. I set the table saw at 3.5 inches.
3.5 inches?
At a 14-degree angle. So now what you get, this is your drywall, remember?
Because our roof is at a 14-degree angle.
Everything's
right?
14 degrees.
So it's going to be the same as your roof.
So now this is your drywall representing, with that little angle on your top plate, now you're able to run your drywall all the way to the ceiling.
And it's the same gap all the way down.
Trimming the corner.
Alright, so because of the angle of these walls, we're going to be using the Cigman laser level. And this is really going to allow us to make sure that we have our verticals set exactly where they need to be. Alright.
Alright, so this loft wall is going all the way up to the ceiling. And then we're going to do a railing in the front. But this wall we're going to build into 2 pieces. And the place I'm going to join it is where we have a cross wall coming in. So we're going to have a stud here, a wall nailer, and it will get cut right at that wall nailer. And then we'll have the other stud right here that adjoins the wall, and then we'll just nail it right down. So it gives you a good breaking point. Nice solid connection.
Eric's getting creative. He didn't like my suggestion that I could do this, so he decided to do it instead. Isn't it easier doing it in there? Oh, that got nice and tight, so that sucker gets sucked right in. Here he comes. To make the angled cut for these top plates right here. Laid everything out, and then we pulled our top plates back, and then Eric had to figure out which side to cut that you need. Right into your lumber stack over here. Alright, so we have everything cut to spec, hopefully. Alright, so we want our laser to run on the line that we just marked. Okay.
That way we can transfer it up to here.
Right. Alright, so we got the Cigman. I'm going to turn this on. You slide the bar in the back. Ooh, right in my face. And then this little thing up here. And we can here we go. And we'll just adjust it a tiny bit. See, this little dial is nice because you can just really fine tune it. Wow. Looky there. Oh, you can see it all the way down on that wall too. So you know exactly where the side is gonna go. Oh! Oh my gosh, look, it actually is measuring all the trusses at the same time. So now we can measure off every single truss to know the distance, because the trusses are not necessarily going to be the same height as each other. It's a little bit trickier because the floor is wiggly. So Eric's nailing in his last one over here, and then we're gonna sand this wall up. So, will it fit? It's like a puzzle, hopefully. With the plumb sticking out.
How come we didn't put our stud in the middle? Whoops.
I was speaking too much. I didn't know you were gonna just whip that up there like that. Yeah, I could feel it when that first wall went up that it got a little sturdier. Oh! Oh! I feel like this should be a game. Yeah. Stack 'em boards. My beautiful nailing work up there. Eric's emergency access ladder over there. So in case of fire, you can crawl up the wall and out through the little vent up there. All right, so we got the whole top nailer put in. Just gonna hang that up there precariously.
Aiming right at me.
Are you gonna hold it up there, or you want me to hold it here?
No, go on the other side. If you go as high as possible, it's gonna give you
I can't see it up that high, so you'll have to look at it. But now that top plate that we just installed, Eric's gonna nail into that. Because the top plate's attached to the truss.
I gotta slip a board.
All right, so we are assembling our very last wall in the entire house. So this is the last wall in the loft. Right now we're fitting some of the wall.
Get shaped just a little.
Yeah. Yep. So we measure the boards, we cut the boards, and we double check the boards because we're finding that they're just a little bit tight.
Your two end boards are the most important to get those the right length.
Right. So especially if you fall underneath the truss, like this one is directly underneath the truss, you don't have any wiggle room. So you definitely want to make sure that that's correct. Yep. Gonna shoot me in the eyeballs. Let me just turn it in style.
If this was set up on a block, it would actually get the line up here.
Just right. All right. And then you just turn it where you need it to be.
That's right, where you need it.
So Eric was noticing that another advantage of using the laser level is that if you're doing a wall across from each other, like you can actually look and see it lines up perfectly on that same wall because you're still marking your studs off the same, and so it hits the edge of that stud exactly the same as it's hitting the edge of this stud, which is what we're using to transfer our line up to the top. So our thing will be perfectly squared and aligned.
I can't believe it's hitting it that.
Because the laser level transfers the lines everywhere. You can literally see how far out it goes and what's lined up and what's not lined up. You can also see what's not square. So if you want to lay out your walls perfectly square, start by marking them on the first floor with the laser level. Because this up here, we found out is not square. But for what it's worth.
Ready? It's not like it's heavy.
It's not like we're lifting it over a giant expanse of nothingness. Will it fit? Oh no!
Actually, to get it to fit, you can just slide it this way and then wedge it in.
Up straight and then. So according to code, it has to be 36 inches. Again, that's for move-in. I'm not sure if that's for rough-in. But better safe than sorry. If we don't need it, we don't need it. It's just a temporary railing. So, I mean, it definitely, let me see if I can get a better vantage point from back here. Yeah, it definitely kind of adds to the flavor of the house, having that loft right there, because originally, before Eric wanted to go through and put the loft in, originally this whole thing was just going to be a wall going straight up with basically open space up in there, kind of like the bedroom.
Well, I think our original plan was just to frame this all in, and it was just going to be attic space.
Yeah, you talked about that too, and I'm just like, that just seems like a waste of space. And while it is a little bit more money to go through and finish stuff off, you gain usability. I mean, it's just like the safe space or the safe room down here in the cement slab. It's going in anyway. You might as well just put the extra cost into finishing it off. All right, so, woo, actually that was a pretty good vantage point. I have to do a sniff. Oh, this one's capped. Oh, okay, so that one does. But I don't know if that's it, because I smelled it in the garage. Yeah, you think... So, even though he's joking, he's also being half serious, because when we first put our double wide out here on the property, it was the dead nuts of winter. And no joke, one of the guys that was installing it pooped in our toilet. I'm not kidding, like, and it froze in there because there's no way to flush it because it wasn't connected to the power or the water yet. So we had to deal with this giant pile of frozen poop in the toilet for a full month. So when he's saying like maybe somebody pooped in the drain, it's a very real possibility.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really enjoy seeing your comments every week. Be sure to leave a comment down below if you have not already, and if you did, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We have a lot going on with this build. This is going to be one of those things that is just going to keep growing exponentially more out of control. And I'm saying this because it just is. This is going to be just a wild build. This is just the start. This is the start, guys. So coming up, we're going to be putting the utilities in. And by we, I mean the utility crew is going to be putting the utilities in, because this is a very involved task. So we're going to show you what's involved with the workers getting all of the utilities in, the electrical, the plumbing, the HVAC. It's not as straightforward and simple as you might guess. And if you've watched any of the other channels doing it themselves, well, you know, it can be a pain in the butt. Since we're on a time crunch, Eric decided, let's just nix it all out and keep pushing ahead. So stay tuned for those videos coming up soon. And until then, guys, love you. Hope you have an awesome week. Catch you next week. Bye.
So who's guessing on who?
She's got a grip too.
Oh!
Why are you already going? You're not supposed to.
Oh, he's grabbing the table. Oh.
You don't know what a press is? Have you ever watched arm wrestling? Yeah.
That's when he gets up and he kicks you and then he throws you down.
That's a press, dude. You know what a press is, right?
I've never done it.
Well, now you learn what a press is. Old man strength, baby!